Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fat Guy Productions. I am Paul, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm busy. Trying to get back in the groove, baby. So, what have I got on my desk today? Well, I got this. This is a child's music box, Winnie the Pooh. All right. And you see it's missing its latch. It has a lot of nicks and gouges in its finish. It's not in the worst shape ever, but it's certainly not in the best shape ever. Inside here you see the spring is all deformed. The lining is messed up. It doesn't play its song anymore. And I'm going to restore this. And you're going to say to yourself, well, why would you restore a child's music box? And you're not going to see this anywhere. Nobody's doing this. Because they're cheapo. They're cheapo. They're all cheapo. Why am I doing this? Because this is my daughter-in-law's. Okay, this was hers as a child. And she wants to give it to her daughter. And I want to help make that happen. So my son and my daughter-in-law asked me if I would restore this. I hope I don't let them down. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to restore this. So what I did, first of all, is I ordered a replacement music insert. Okay. So this is the one I got. Okay, and this plays the Winnie the Pooh song. All right. And then what I did also is I bought this. Another, I wonder if it's made by the same company. No, this is Keisler. And this is Jewel Keeper. Okay. So I bought another music box for a couple reasons. One, I wanted to experiment on the finish. And two, I wanted the parts, the hinges, the latch, because I needed a latch. And three, I wanted the guts. So I've already kind of started a little bit here. And you see I pulled out the interior lining of this box, which should work very nicely in here. Okay. I still got to get the stuff out of the lid. So I got that out, and then I took out their little music box. Yeah, you're going to see there's going to be a problem there, okay? I'm going to see what I can do to fix that. There is going to be a problem here, but we'll get to that in a second. And so I took all that out, and I got to finish stripping this box down. Then I got to strip this box down and find a way to refinish it. But I want to be able to do some tests on this one that I don't care about. Like, I don't want to take sandpaper to the one that I'm trying to restore because I can't find the prints anywhere. I guess I could take really good photos of them, print them, and put them down. And maybe that's not a bad idea. All right, so that's what we've got. Let me show you the issue I have here. Okay, you see they're almost identical, okay? Except you see this little bracket here? It has this thing on it, okay? And this thing feeds through here and hooks in, and then this screws into the back of the box, and this is what the figure sits on. And this is how it turns the figure around. And so I even have the gear that this has to mesh up to. Okay, all of that is here. But this bracket is not here. All right? So I need to do one of two things. I either need to find a way to change the drum and the prongs, maybe just the drum. I need to swap those out. I see I can easily change the prongs. I don't know about the drum, though. Or I've got to find a way to get this bracket off of here, I don't see any fasteners. I see those little, I think they might be squished down rivets, and I see them here. So maybe if I could squeeze those and get this off, I could put them over there and then punch those down, and then that would work. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to work on trying to figure this thing out and see if I can get this to mount to that. All right. Oil, little dab will do ya. Okay, let's do that. Let's hold on to your hats, boys. See what happens here. Hear it playing a tune there? Oh yeah, it's definitely moving now. I get up under it now. There it goes. Got it. Okay. Important piece. Okay, that was successful. Now, will it go on here? Yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And you know, I can probably, first of all, it looks like it'll press fit on there. And second of all, I could probably use a little glue underneath it and it should be just fine. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to put a little bit of my CA under there. Very strong stuff, this stuff. And then I'm going to press fit it with a little bit of pressure, and then I'm going to okay, and then I'm going to still try and crimp those things down. Okay, let's get I got my pliers right here, and then we can take this, put it up over there, and now we can just see, there's a little piece there that's in the way. I got to get that off of there. Okay, so that's, can you see that right here? That's in the way. So we will turn to my display grinder. Okay. And I'm going to clean that off a little bit there. See how that worked. Might need more. Okay, so now, all right, I've got that on there, and I'm happy with that. But now what I need is I definitely need to smoosh those down. might have done it. That's on there pretty good. With it like that, I should be able to hook this back in here. Oh, I gotta go this way. And then just kind of there. And now I just gotta push that back in to tighten it. So there you have it. All right, so let's do this. Let's take this, finish tearing it down. I believe, let's see if what we got to do, get this mirror off of here. Get underneath that without damaging the felt. Maybe I could just take that off with the felt. Okay, that's pretty easy. There we go. Yeah, look at that. Mirror and all. That worked out perfectly. Okay. It's just a little hot glue. Now look, I can see how the hinges and stuff are in there? They're just folded prongs. Okay, lid's off. You see, it just goes through those slits. This is... It's wood. Thought it would be cardboard or something, but that was a milestone right there. Okay, we got that off. And then we can straighten out all these pokies. Let's try and get... Okay, so we got the hinges off of here. And see, I'm going to use this as a test case to figure out what I can and can't do here to this stuff. But I need to get this off to get to this piece here. And looks like it's just a paper piece. I can always make a piece of this. That shouldn't be a problem. So if I ruin this piece, I'm not worried about it too much because it looks like I'm going to ruin it. I just need to have it. Yeah, it's going to get ruined. Okay, it looks like it just hammers into the wood. All right. Let's do an experiment. Can I just sand this? Maybe I shouldn't use that piece. I should use this. Okay. Okay. Can definitely sand it. All right, so what I did to take the first one apart is I first unscrewed the chime. That's probably a mistake right now. And why am I saying that? Because I got to get this off of there, so I just want to make sure it's holding on long enough. There, take that off. Okay, and then... All right. And now we can pull this whole unit out of here. I don't have to be overly careful with it because I have a replacement. So I can just pull this thing out. There. The hole is in there. Okay, now Pooh comes off. The last one was kind of glued on, but this one looks like it just unscrews. Right out of the spring. Oh, it doesn't even unscrew. It's like a little pin that I'm going to have to move. So we have to get that pin out of there. So that is probably garbage. Definitely garbage. There's Pooh. He'll get a good cleaning. Winnie the Pooh. Gotta get this pin out of there. Let's get this box the rest of the way apart. Meaning I don't need, well, I might need that depending. It's got to come out if I'm going to reuse this box, okay? But I got to be honest, if I have to reprint all the artwork, I'm going to put it on the better box. Because look, see, this has got bubbles in it and stuff that would be hard for me to deal with. But we're going to go ahead and take it completely apart, just like we did with the other one. Look at this. It was a whole different kind of latch, but it should fit or come off the exact same way. Okay, so I poked a few holes, very tiny holes, along like some of the black lines and stuff to try and make sure you couldn't see them. I don't know that it's helping that much. It would be better if I could get some adhesive down in there, but I got to be really careful with this thing. So it's the best I can do. Try and let some of the heat out, or the air out of the little air bubbles, and maybe get some adhesion between any glue that was down there, and try and get this to stick back down. If that doesn't work, what's going to happen is I'll finish it with Mod Podge, but the pre-sanding is going to have to be very, very light, if, so I don't damage where those bubbles are. So this will be as far as I go with it, and we'll see what happens. Hey, you never know until you try, right? It's definitely better, but not perfect. I'm going to put it face to face with the other one to keep a little pressure on it. Let's see if, as it cools, if it won't stick. Okay, so we're back, and you can see here I've got a real mess going. That's because I've been trying. I've had to do a lot of experimentation here. So first, let me explain these. These are just painting triangles, and the idea is that you can set things on them. Okay, so you put your little painting triangles down, and then you can set stuff on them to paint them, and they're only making contact with the bare minimum spot. Okay, so you can do that, and you can paint without it being on a surface. So that's a good thing. So I had some of these, but I told you I don't know where anything is in my house. And so I could not find my painting triangles. So what do? You turn to your Bamboo Labs X1 carbon and you print a bunch of painting triangles, because I'm going to need them here for this project. That's R2D2, by the way. Okay, so we can put those over here out of the way. Now, okay, I did some sanding and some testing, and I started with the other box. And here you can see look how good that came out. Okay. Now, admittedly, this box was in pristine condition. It was brand new. But what I did is I did this same sanding process I'm going to do on the other box. And I started with 600 grit sanding sponge. Then I went to 1,000. Then I went to 3,000. And very lightly. And the thing here is you got to be really careful around the edges, or you're going to burn right through them and kill the coloring. So I did that. And on this side, I had tried Mod Podge Matte. And you see it's got a lot of brush strokes. Now, they do make a self-leveling version, but I don't have that on hand. And, I was just trying with what I had. So I had that. Over here was my first attempt. And you can see it. See the roughness in it? Okay, this was my first attempt at sanding a side and then using this Mod Podge Super High Shine spray. All right? So, yeah, it definitely gave a nice shine, but it just, you see, it didn't work. Here it worked, okay? Different sanding technique. I made sure it was thoroughly clear. I put it on properly, and boy, that's fantastic. And if I can get that results on the box I'm restoring, that'll be great. Now, I also need to tell you that Reggie and I talked about this, and remember I had said maybe, because these are virtually the same, and I said, well, what if I could replicate the graphics and wrap them on this new box. Reggie said, well, what's the point of that then? Why not just buy a new box? Because this is no longer Naveed's box. Naveed is my daughter-in-law. So this would no longer be her jewelry box. And that kind of defeats the entire point, doesn't it? And I agreed with her. So even though you can still see the where it looks like she was trying to get a pen to start writing on here or something like that, and there's little gouges in here, because you can only, you got to be really careful with the sanding here. Even though you can see those are part of this. So I sanded it. I'm going to refinish it with the Mod Podge spray, and we're going to make this box new again, or as new as we can. So that's the plan. So you can see, I think, see how dull that is? That's it after the sanding, but also right here, you can see the pen, the swirlies in there, where some naughty daughter-in-law was trying to write on her jewelry box. All right, so done with the test box for now. And so we're going to just tuck that out of the way. And what I think I want to do now is maybe a little touch-up work on the graphics. Okay, see this whole corner is all chewed up. I'm thinking I could put a little bit of very light pink paint there just to kind of make that look a little better on the corners. The rest of the box looks pretty solid. Maybe a little bit of work right there. So that's what I'm going to do today, and then I'm going to let that dry really thoroughly, and then I'll use my little painting cones, and I'll get some clear coat on this thing. Okay. So I've showed you this before. These are just pill trays. They're like, and they're foil coated, and they had a little pill in them. So instead of breaking them apart and stuff, I just use them as paint trays. And so I've got a nice little mixing paint tray. So if you take any kind of a pill in a tray, you can kind of make better use of it. So we're going to try and mix up a little pink, because I don't know how close this is going to match up. See, I don't think it's red enough. And it's a little too saturated, I think. And so what I'm going to do here is first I'm going to move the light out a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to just take this. Okay. And then we can take... I don't know if I need water yet. Let's try some white. Let's add a little white to that. Okay. It's a flat white, but it shouldn't matter. It should be fine. Okay. And then we can mix. Mix. I think that looks actually pretty good. I think softening it helped a lot. And what you can do, you can just... Oh, yeah. Okay, that's going to work out really, really good, I think. Okay, so let's put that over here. Let's do a little distracting. I do need some water because I need to, you know, actually I want this brush in here instead. A little more control. Okay. Here we go. Okay, here we go. And then we can take and just kind of put it in there. And look. This is not something I've ever done before. But that worked out pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm sure there are professional, like, have you ever seen those videos where people restore like old movie posters? Or famous artwork or something along those lines? I'm sure they would have better ways to do this. I don't know. This is the way I'm doing it. You know, and again, the decision was made to keep this, for all intents and purposes, the way it was. Otherwise, it's just a kid's jewelry box. All right. We're on a roll here. I gotta be honest with you. Sometimes going into projects, I know I can do it. I know it's going to come out just wonderful. This was not one of those projects. This was not. I had never done anything like this. I'm not really well versed with Mod Podge. Well, I got that color way better than I thought. It's really working great. Yeah, there. That really hid that very nicely. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. I think this is going to work out so good. I'm so happy with this. Look, I really wanted this to be nice for her. Okay? Not Naveed, but for Amelia, this will be something she can have that was her mama's. And I think that is going to be really, really wonderful. I believe in things like that. And so I think it was a no-brainer to say yes, even though I knew I had never done this before and I wasn't sure if I could pull it off. But it was that or nothing. I mean, they weren't going to be able to take it to some kind of professional jewelry box restorer. And if you look on the videos out there, nobody's doing this, okay? Everybody's restoring, like, jewelry boxes, you know, the nice wooden vintage antique ones. Nobody's doing this, and that came out really, really good. There is a little bit of blue right there. Oh, there we go. I'm calling that good. All right. We're going to let that dry thoroughly, and then we will start putting Mod Podge. They couldn't have come up with a better, easier name. We'll come back and we'll start putting the Mod Podge on here. All right. They'll go away. Okay, so I've got the box sanded down as good as I'm going to be able to get, okay? There's a lot of really deep grooves in here. If I go too deep, I'm going to damage the artwork, and I don't want to do that. So now I need to reseal it. I've touched up the edges with some custom mixed paint, as close as I could get. I think it looks pretty good. Again, this is her original jewelry box, and so I don't want to stray too far. So I'm happy with it. Now what I need to do is I need to seal it, and for that I'm going to use Mod Podge. Now, there's all kinds of Mod Podge. There's this aerosol super high shine. There's this Mod Podge matte. And then there's this Mod Podge ultra. Now, the matte isn't going to work. Ain't going to work. No way. It's not going to work. You get just massive brush strokes. So that's out. Then I tried this. And I actually, after sanding, I did it on a perfectly pristine piece here. Okay? But I sanded all that. And then I spray coated it using the aerosol. Now, the thing is, I do a lot of painting. And I've gotten pretty good at it. And so I can lay down that kind of a finish. But Mod Podge makes this, the Ultra. This is all-in-one, multi-surface, no brush strokes, durable and non-tacky. In other words, it's self-leveling, and that's a big deal. So I bought this thinking I would use this. Then I went back to an art class that took a long time ago where the teacher said know when to say when, okay? And I think that's where I'm at with this, in that I've used this, I know it works, I know I can do it, and if for some reason it doesn't come out to my satisfaction, I can let it dry, I can rescuff it, and I can always turn back to this stuff. So even though I went out and spent $15 on this bottle of Mod Podge, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use the aerosol spray. So let's head to the paint booth. Over. Set there. Okay, now the plan is to get inside lip and the top edge. And I'm going to have to work pretty fast because I don't want this to set up and get over spray tight marks on it. So I just got to kind of okay, so here it is. And you can see I got a really good finish on it. And here's the lid. Now, look, you can still see the bubbles in the artwork. I don't know if I can show this to you. Right there. Okay. Oh, there's a good view of it. The problem is, there's nothing I can do about it. I tried, I poked tiny little holes in it with my X-Acto knife, and then I heated it on my heat press, and, you know, I tried different things, but I had to be sure that I was being non-destructive, so that was the best that I could get it, but I think it looks really, really good, and I'm very excited about where I'm at with it. So I'm going to put the lid off to the side, and we can get rid of the little triangle-y thingies, which really served me well. I was able to just 3D print them. Very little filament because they're really thin, but really helpful. Super glad I did that. I had some. I bought at like Home Depot or something like that, but I couldn't find them. So, all right. So what I need to do is, I guess I need to put the hardware that goes on the box back on before I try and put the insides in. And so that would be all this silver hardware. So here, here, here. Okay, so all that's got to go on. And what I need, I need this. Because I don't want to risk damaging what I've got thus far. This Okay, now it's time to get the lid on, and I think first I want to get the front latch on. I can always make that hole a little bigger if I have to. That might be the play. And these should go in as easily as they did on the other side. Okay, so the box is looking really good. As good as it's probably ever going to look. Hinges are back on. Everything's on. Now what I have to do is I have to replace this little piece of paper here. And to do that, this isn't exactly the best ruler in the world for this. So I'm going to just go like 1 millimeter short of that we need. So, yeah, that should be plenty long enough. And it cuts in that little groove. I said, you know what they say? Measure twice and cut once. So that should be about right. And then I just want to let it up nice and even. And then this is the problem with having a sloppy work area. It makes doing some of this stuff difficult. All right. There. Of course, it has a little crinkle in it. So I'm going to do, you know, okay, right there. And now we can flip this down and score away. And with any luck, my stupid butt did this correctly. We'll see. And then we can glue this piece in, and while it's drying, we can work on the lid. Okay, let's see how it fits. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, and it's almost the exact length. It's perfect. Oh yeah, that's so perfect. Okay, now let's hope I don't screw this up. Weights on it. We'll see what happens. Maybe that's a good idea no matter what. No, because then I got to fight with the lid and everything. Okay, so now, let's hope we don't screw this up. Right there. So now, try to be very careful. Very neat. Let's get this into the box. All right. One corner, two corners. Tuck it down. Stick the sides. Stick blending. I gotta have a little wriggle room here. I don't have it. Better. There we go. All right, and then we can get some hot glue, glue the bottom in. Okay, there we go. All right, we need a little hot glue down there. Get this while the glue gun's heating up. I guess it can just screw right into the spring. But we will cap it off with a little hot glue. Although it don't really looks like I need to. Okay, there. It's ready for Pooh Bear. Okay, there we go. We're cooking with gas now, folks. Okay, looks like we're oozing. Okay. Way down and all the way forward, which it is not yet. Come on, you rotten son of a gun, you. There we go. Oh yeah. That's in. Okay. Now we can take this, put it through here, and then line it up and screw it in place. We might be. Looks like I can, yeah, I'm in. There, it's in. Can I get this back over? That's... Oh, it's a spring. I'm an idiot. Okay, so we gotta do this. And then that. And then I gotta loosen the top because it apparently gets screwed in behind the thingamabobber. Okay, because yeah, see, it tucks in there. Test. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I've worked very hard on this. Yay me! Oh, it works. It works. I need to maybe wax it or something. I could not be happier. I made my daughter-in-law cry. I did. I made her cry. And the reason I'm happy about that is because it wasn't a bad cry. It was a good cry. It was a cry of happiness and memories and just emotions. She loved the jewelry box. And it just, I have never done, I've done a lot of videos. I don't know if I hit 1,000 videos yet, but I've done a lot of videos. And I've never done a project that was this special. I cannot be happier with the outcome. She loved it. Everything came out exactly the way I hoped it would. I have no words. And that doesn't happen to me. I mean, I'm full of crap and I have no words. I just don't. I'm so happy that she loves it, and I'm happy to know that it will become a part of Amelia's life. And who knows, with a little care and love, maybe it'll last another generation. I don't know, but for now, it was everything I hoped it would be. And frankly, it was a lot of fun. It was fun figuring things out like that, okay? Something I've never done before, and I had to figure it all out. I had a great time, and I loved every second of the project, just like I hope you loved every second of this very long video. If you did love this video, please give it a giant thumbs up, click subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. Especially, have you ever done anything like this? And maybe not a jewelry box, but maybe like a Mod Podge restoration where you had to deal with graphics and stuff like that. I'd love to hear your thoughts and tips on what I did and how I could have done it better and stuff. I'd love to hear it, and I'm sure so would the other viewers. So put them in the comments down below. We'd all appreciate it. All right, that's going to do it for this very long video. I hope the rest of your day is filled with emotions and happiness and joy in your heart. Until next time, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions saying, be good.